Hey guys, sorry I wasn't able to upload this earlier. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Please make sure you do your homework, your exit slip, and also please make sure that you do Khan Academy for next Wednesday. 6.7, we're learning about volumes of pyramids and cones. And going along with the idea of the volume of rectangular prisms and rectangular um, prisms, etc., we're going to always multiply the base and the height. Okay, multiply the base and the height. Here's our two formulas that we're working with here today. We're going to be talking about a rectangular pyramid, triangular pyramid, and a cone. Okay, now what do you guys notice about this? This red right here says height. The height of it is not the diagonal. Okay, it's not the slant in a cone or a slant in a pyramid or a slant in a triangle. It's actually the red line that goes straight up and down. Remember what I told you guys? The heights will almost always create a right angle. So you guys see how this height right here, that red line, creates a right angle? That goes down the middle of the pyramid. It's all the way to the vertice. Remember where the peak meets. Okay? So it's not the slants, but it's a line that goes straight down the middle. Okay? So this is our first one. Pyramids. To find the volume of a pyramid, we're going to do 1/3 times the base times the height. So 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. So when we look at this, the base is going to be this rectangle right here. Let me highlight it in red for us. So that's our base. So the base is found by doing 3 times 3. So volume is equal to 1/3 times 3 times 3 times the height. Well, the height here, it says it's 4, right? So we're going to do times 4. So they did the work here, 1/3 times 9 times 4, which is going to get us 12 units cubed. Okay, 12 units cubed. For a cone, the formula is going to be 1/3 times base times height once again. However, the difference is the base here. The base, since this is a circle, we have to remember what is the area of a circle. The area of a circle is pi r squared. So we're going to do 1/3 times pi times r squared times the height. So the radius here in this case is 2. So we're going to do 1/3 times pi times 2 squared times the height, which is 3. And if we look here, they did it for us 1/3 times 4 pi, because 2 times 2 squared is 4 pi, times 3. And then how they got 4 pi here is they did 1/3 times 3 first to get 1. Okay, so they're left with 1 times 4 pi. Okay, so the main thing we need to remember, it's 1/3 times base times height. You need to ask yourself, what is the base? If it's a rectangle, like the top one, then it's length times width. If the base is a circle, then you're gonna do 1/3 or pi r squared. Okay, so always ask yourself, what's the base and how do you find the area of the base? Here's our first example problem. We have a triangular prism, and we need to ask yourself, in a triangular prism, what is the area of the base? Well, what's the area of a base of a triangle? It's 1/2 times the base, which is 3, times the height of the triangle, which is 8. So this is the area of the base of this triangle. Okay, so we're talking about this right here. We're looking for this base. Alright, so 1/2 times 3 times 8 is going to get us 1/2 times 3 times 8 is 24. So 1/2 times 24 is 12. So the base is 12. Okay. Now we're going to find the volume. The volume is done by doing volume is 1/3 base times height. So 1/3 times the base, which is 12, times the height, which is 8 again. So this 8 over here, which is going to get us 1/3 times 12 right here is going to get us 4 times 8, which is going to get us 32 units cubed. 32 units cubed. Now the main thing that we need to remember is that the base in this particular object is a triangle. So we have to do 1/2 base times height. I want you guys to take a look at letter B. And looking at letter B, I want you guys to think about, okay, what is the base? Okay, it's a circle. So now you have to remember, what is the area of a circle? The area of a circle is found by doing pi r squared. So we're going to do pi r squared is equal to pi times the radius is 2 squared. So this is 4 squared because 2 times 2 or 2 squared is 4. Now the volume is 1/3 times the base, which is 4 pi, times the height, which is 12. Okay. Now we're able to multiply everything beside the pi. We can leave the pi for later. So if we do 4 times 12, that's 48. So 1/3 times 48 pi. And 1/3 times 48 is going to get us, so 1/3 times 48 is going to get us 16, and then pi. Then you can also multiply 16 times pi to get a number without the pi sign. Okay, but I would take 16 pi. That's okay as well. Now for letter C, again, we have to ask ourselves what is the area of our base, because the volume formula is 1/3 base times height. So the base is, in this case, a rectangle. So we're going to have to do length times width. So 8 times 10 to get 80 as our area of our base. After we get 80, it's going to be 1/3 times 80 times the height, which is 15. I'll write that up here. It'll be 1/3 times 80 times 15. So that's going to get us 400 units cubed. Okay, so whenever we do the volume of a triangular prism, or a cone, a circular cone, or a triangular prism or rectangular prism, then we have to always make sure we're doing 1/3 times the base, area of the base, times the height. So lastly, for example 2, we're going to figure out, okay, what happens when we switch these dimensions? Okay, so our original cone has a radius of 7 feet and a height of 14 feet. Explain whether doubling the height would have the same effect on the volume of the cone as doubling the radius. So we have a cone, okay, it looks something like this, okay, and they're saying that the radius here is 7 feet, and that the height, this height right here, the dotted line, is 14 feet. And so when we double the height or the radius, we want to see what's the effect, what happens, okay? So again, the original volume is going to be 1/3. This time it's a circle, so 1/3 times the base is pi r squared, times the height. So 1/3 times pi 7 squared times the height, which is 14. I'm running out of space here. And if you multiply all of that together, you guys do that by yourselves, don't just get the answer, it's 718.01 feet cubed. And then for the volume, for this next one, we want to double the height. Okay, we want to double the height. So we want the height to be 2 times h. So I'm going to do it over here. So 1/3 times pi r squared times 2h. So 1/3 times pi, the radius is 7 squared, times 2 times 14. And you're going to get about 1436.03 feet cubed. So this is 1436 feet cubed. Wow, I'm sorry guys, this is really small. So we see that the original was about 700 and this became about 1400. So it seems like it was almost doubled. Okay, so when we double the height, the volume gets doubled. So think about this. This gets doubled. So we're going to double this height. So this cone is going to become like this long. Okay, about double the height. Then the volume would double. So then what happens if we double the radius? So what happens if we double, whoopsies, if we double the base? What happens if we double the space now? So then now we're going to do, I'm going to do it over here, 1/3 times pi 2r squared times the height. So I know that's kind of confusing. Okay, because we want to double just the radius. We want to double it before we square it. So that's going to become 1/3 pi 2 times 7 squared times 14. So 1/3 pi 2 times 7 is 14. So it's going to be 14 squared times 14. So when we do all of that math, we should get about 2,872.05 feet cubed. So in this case, it seems like the volume got quadrupled, meaning it was multiplied by 4 when we doubled the radius. So when we double the radius, we see that the volume gets almost 4 times as much compared to the original dimensions. Alright? Well, this is the end of notes. Please try your exit slip. Make sure you guys know these formulas, okay? The main thing I would always ask myself is, are we working with a base that's a circle, a square, or a triangle? And then accordingly, you have to make sure you use the right base formula. And I have no clue what that was. Alright guys, have a great weekend. Don't forget to turn everything in. I will see you guys on Wednesday.